Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So there's a couple Game of Thrones clips to play, a couple announcement teasers that dropped, and they're starting to build a case about Jon Snow versus Sansa, so I'll explain what's going on. So let's start with the important stuff first. The teaser for the concert is basically like the person who composes music for Game of Thrones. He's totally amazing. Music is one of the most important things about this show. They're doing like a big live concert at the Hollywood Palladium next Monday as I'm posting this, August 8th. This starts at 11:30 a.m. The composer as well as Isaac Hempstead Wright are going to be there doing a Q&A as well. And they're making a special announcement about an expansion. They're calling it an expansion to the Game of Thrones universe. So because that's so general, like everyone's like, what the hell does that mean? Are they announcing a theme park or something like that? What I think is going on is that they're going to announce like a permanent installment for the Hall of Faces or something of that nature, or something somewhat museum related, but I don't think they're going to have like a Game of Thrones theme park. And they haven't really started production of the new season yet, so they might talk about season 7 during the Q&A, but I don't think the HBO is officially announcing anything for season 7. But whatever they end up talking about, I'll totally do a video for it. That's going to happen next Monday. If you do live near Los Angeles, you could try to go to that live concert. But moving to Jon Snow versus Sansa season 7 stuff. So they've been hyping this a little bit. Like Sophie Turner was hyping it a little bit at Comic-Con. I wasn't taking it too seriously till I saw some more recent videos that they posted. So I'm going to play this here. This is just like a funny parody for the election stuff that's happening in the So like you can see that they have about a month left before they close the polls, but currently leading are Daenerys Targaryen with her running mate Tyrion Lannister. As you'd probably imagine, Tyrion probably one of the best people for ruling, but then as if to hype Jon Snow versus Sansa, like you see Jon Snow with the little bear on the same ticket, which I think is pretty adorable. But then you have Littlefinger and Sansa on the same ticket, so like even HBO is hyping up Jon Snow versus Sansa. In the way Sophie Turner talked about it, she's irritated with Jon, doesn't think that he's right to rule, and there's this clip where she talks about how, like her mother grew up hating Jon Snow because she thought that he was the product of an affair with Ned Stark and another woman. So now I'm gonna play that.
Thrones is really at the heart of it, about dysfunctional families.
There's always been tension between them because since they were little, Sansa has always looked up to her mother and always just taken on her mother's views of everything. And her mother really didn't like Jon because of the whole affair thing. Doesn't mean that they don't love each other, but it's just, typical sibling tension.
We need to trust each other. We can't fight a war amongst ourselves. We have so many enemies now.
I think Jon is oblivious. He hasn't actually learned his lesson from trying to pay attention to what she's feeling. He says he has, but he's asking her to trust him. He's not listening and watching and observing her. I think that could be a real problem for him.
I don't care if he's a bastard. Ned Stark's blood runs through his veins. He's my king, from this day until his last day.
Jon is the right man for the job. We all want a leader who's going to be decent and honourable, and I think he's definitely entitled to be running Winterfell, although Sansa might have a problem with that, I fear. Her relationship with Jon Snow, I think, is an indication of what's going to come, and I'm not sure it's going to be pretty.
The King in the North! The King in the North!
He's named King in the North and she kind of gets no credit for it. Jon doesn't acknowledge everything his sister has done for him after all that they've been through. And it's not that she's looking for praise or anything. She did it because she wants revenge and also because she wants her home back. But Jon, he's so naive. So Sansa's just a little bit agitated is all.
So you watch something like that, and one, you think, wow, I really hate Sansa, and I kind of hate Catelyn a little bit too now for hating Jon Snow so much. It's not his fault that he's a bastard. But number two, it also tells you what the drama is going to be in the north, south of the Wall. Now, north of the Wall, we still have Bran versus the Night's King, but we just named Jon Snow King of the North, so Littlefinger looks like he's wasting no time in plotting on how to get his hooks into Sansa and twist her against Jon Snow. Because as a Stark, a lot of the North will still rally behind her, so it's very possible, if left to his own devices, he could create another civil war in the North, which would be like the worst possible thing that could happen, especially with the Night's King's army trying to make its way south of the Wall and Daenerys getting ready to take King's Landing. So the ray of hope, I think, is that regardless of, what drama there is in the North, Bran will resurface before it actually comes to a real civil war and will explain what's going on with Jon Snow his parentage, and his role in the war to come, so they'll both back off a little bit. But you can see why it would merit fewer episodes, just because they wouldn't want to drag out that drama of Jon Snow versus Sansa next year. Like, clearly they have to build to a breaking point, Bran has to appear to explain to them, then they have to chill out. So if you were to drag that out across 10 episodes, it would be almost unbearable, just because everyone already knows where the story's going. So until the White Walkers show up, I feel like Jon Snow and Sansa's story is the one that's in most danger of being turned into filler if they're not careful. Because it sounds like they're pushing off White Walkers making it south of the Wall at least till the end of season 7, maybe beginning of season 8, just so they can spend that whole final season in just like crazy pitch battle every single episode. So you have Daenerys versus Cersei. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. That'll be really entertaining. Just dragons laying waste to everything. And I will be very surprised if Cersei doesn't find a little more wildfire to use on Daenerys' troops. That would probably be the most effective thing she could do. And she could answer the question as to whether or not Daenerys is also immune to wildfire, which I feel like she would be. But let me know in the comments, what do you think about the show pushing Jon Snow versus Sansa, and how long do you think they'll drag that out till they come to their senses and they learn about Jon Snow's true origin? Because remember, Jon Snow doesn't know anything about what Bran saw yet. He has to tell him first. Sansa doesn't know either. She still thinks that he's a bastard, and it sounds like she might even still harbor some like deep-seated resentment against him, like the low-grade type of resentment that Catelyn held for him, which is actually very important to Jon Snow's character development. But we can talk more about Jon Snow's character development in another video. So giveaway time. Congratulations to this week's giveaway winner, Renzo Pacheco. You win a $20 Amazon gift card. Just be sure to private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact details. So big announcement coming on Monday. Be sure to subscribe to get that. And if there's any other bonus videos you guys want me to do this weekend, just let me know in the comments. So while you guys wait for my next video to post, you can click here for my Season 7 teaser trailer, and you can click here for all my other Comic-Con trailer videos. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.